So in this video, we're going to start with line marking on concrete, and the way that we would always do any lines on concrete, we'd start out with drying the ground. Now, concrete being porous will absorb an awful lot of moisture. Even if you can't see it on the surface, it'll definitely be sitting below the surface. So I always recommend that you start with drying. Now, in this case, we're going to be using a propane dryer, but of course you could use a turbine dryer as well. Once we've got the drying done, next we're going to move on to the grinding. Now, the grinding is something that I think, again, is equally important to do. Although the surface is going to be dry at this point, what we also want to do is remove any latents, anything that's sort of going to impede the paint really adhering to the ground. And I think grinding is the best way for it. Now, it really, if you're using different products, whether you're using a thermoplastic with a primer or perhaps an acrylic or an MMA, I would still recommend you start with this step first. I would always go for drying and grinding, and then depending on the product, either fit a primer on or go straight down with your MMAs. Let's jump over to it. I'm going to show you how we do the drying first using the propane dryer. Then we'll jump onto the grinders, which I've got two different types. We've got one with the flail, one with the star head. We'll show you the difference on those. And yeah, once it's done, you're ready to start painting. Let's jump to it. So with the drying and the grinding done, the next step we're going to be doing is actually line marking it in. So Lee's going to move along with the line marking machine. We're going to spray this down on top of the dried and ground surface. Let's do it. So that's pretty much everything you're going to need to do when you're line marking on concrete. Start out with the drying, then move on to your grinding, and then lastly, all you're going to do is spray the line straight down. In this one, we've used an acrylic paint, so we've gone straight onto the ground. We don't need a primer on this, but you could put a primer, and I certainly would recommend it if you were using a thermoplastic. That's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.